again, folks. Welcome back to your November local episode of What's Happening in Your Marketplace and Community. I'm Chris Jansen from Harcourt Sargent, and yet again this month we're joined by our in-house special guest and finance broker, Simon Beck from Your Mortgage Assistant. Simon, thanks again for joining us. Absolute pleasure. So Simon, here at Harcourt Sargent, we would meet with hundreds of buyers each and every week. And I'm finding now as we near the tail end of 2019, we're into November now, it seems the finance game is becoming more and more competitive than ever before. Obviously interest rates are very favourable for borrowers, the best we've seen for decades. I'm seeing faster approval ratings than I've seen for a long time as well. So banks seem to be very proactively on the front foot. But what I'm also noticing is a lot of buyers basing their decision on the cheapest interest rate. And obviously not always that's the best approach, obviously, when considering a home loan. What are some of the things, if you're looking to borrow money and getting a home loan, what are the key features a borrower should be looking for, albeit aside just the interest rate?
So what I'd like to talk about today, Chris, is obviously when you're looking at purchasing any property, whether it's your first property, it's a significant decision.
Yep.
Therefore, we really need to consider what home loan features do we need for our specific circumstances.
Yep.
So yeah, that's what I'm here to talk about today. Obviously, interest rates only form a very small part of the overall decision about what home loan's best for yourself.
Okay.
A lot of people come to me and initially they want the cheapest interest rate on the market. Mm-hmm. Yes, interest rates are important, but unless you're ticking all the boxes based on your circumstances, everyone's not necessarily in the position to get the cheapest interest rate. So then I think we need to look a little bit further other than competitive interest rates. We need to look at your specific needs. Mm-hmm. So yeah, when thinking about a home loan, it's not just about the interest rate. We've got to look at flexibility. During the period of a home loan, your circumstances are going to change. Mm-hmm. So I want to make sure those features of your home loan are not only helping you today, mm-hmm. but as your circumstances change, that your home loan can adjust to those changes as well.
Okay.
And if we get the features of the home loan correct, then potentially over the journey, you're also going to save money off your home loan as well.
Perfect. So Simon, there's a misconception I feel from the buyers and borrowers we meet out in the marketplace that there's a big gap between mainstream lenders in terms of one interest rate to the next. So if you were to talk about your top tier lenders, what's generally the interest rate difference between one lender to the next at most?
So I have 36 lenders on my panel, Chris, and lending anywhere between 80 and 95% across my lenders. We're not talking a significant difference, maybe 0.5% at best, 0.5%.
Yep.
Yeah, so there's not a significant difference in the interest rates being offered among the major banks and the second tier lenders.
Okay. Where would you see maybe an interest rate gap be greater than 0.5%? Is that with somebody who's maybe going through a different lender because they've had a bit of bad history or serviceability issues, or where does the gap increase from 0.5?
So talking about not everyone ticks the box, so I regularly see people where they've got defaults on their credit file or they've got a low credit rating.
Okay.
So with those lenders, initially I can't put them with a mainstream lender or a second tier lender.
Okay.
So under those circumstances, rate becomes negligible.
Okay.
So then we're looking at a specialist lender.
Okay.
So the bank perceives these borrowers who have defaults, late payments, are in arrears. They consider their higher risk to the bank.
Yep.
Therefore, they load the interest rate to take into consideration the additional risks.
Yep.
So we're generally talking specialist lenders, Pepper Finance, Pepper Money, Liberty Financial.
Okay.
So with these specialised lenders, you're not going to get the sharp rates that a major offers.
Sure.
But initially, to get you into home ownership, we might be looking at keeping you with that lender for 12 months to 2 years.
Yep.
And then we'll look at refinancing you to a mainstream lender with a more competitive interest rate.
Yep. And in that situation between a mainstream lender and say a lender that's prepared to take a little bit of risk with a consumer who maybe has a bit of bad history, like what's the percent gap in interest rate there? So if you're getting, well, I mean, what would you get with a main lender right now as an interest
So
rate?
at the moment, main lender, owner occupied, principal and interest repayment, we're looking at low 3%.
Yep.
A couple of recent lenders are under 3%.
Okay.
So yeah, with these specialist lenders, we're still in the 4%,
Okay.
4 to up to 5%. So we're still highly competitive.
Okay.
Only going back 2 years ago, interest
That was the
rates
norm.
were 4.5%.
Okay. Excellent.